You can fool people, you can even fool yourself, but you can't fool the clock. The clock doesn't care how you feel, it only counts what you do. And every tick, every talk is asking you one silent question. Are you moving closer to your plan or drifting further into your excuses? Most people live as prisoners of their moods. They start when they're inspired, stop when they're tired, and call it a lifestyle. But the wealthy, they live by the clock of discipline. They plan their days, honor their commitments, and build freedom one consistent act at a time. So if you want to change your life, stop checking your feelings and start checking your schedule, because your emotions may lie, but your calendar tells the truth. Most people spend their lives chasing a feeling instead of building a future. They want to feel good, not get better. But success, my friends, is not emotional, it's intentional. It's the result of doing what must be done long after the excitement has faded. When you act only when you feel like it, you surrender your life to circumstance. But when you act according to your plan, you reclaim your power. The poor act from impulse. The wealthy act from principle. The difference is not intelligence, it's consistency. If you can learn to follow your plan when your emotions scream otherwise, you've already done what 97% of people will never do. That's the secret. It's not talent. It's not timing. It's discipline. The quiet, daily obedience to your own design. You know, one of the greatest tragedies in life is that most people are ruled by how they feel instead of what they've decided. They start the day with good intentions, but the moment discomfort arrives, the plan disappears. They let emotions steer the ship, and then wonder why they never reach the destination. Feelings are like the wind, they change direction by the hour, but discipline is the compass. It points you where you said you wanted to go, even when the weather isn't in your favor. That's what separates those who wish from those who achieve. I learned early that if I waited to feel like it, I'd never get much done. Some mornings, I didn't feel like studying, working, or saving money. But then I realized that feelings are not commands, they're suggestions. They whisper comfort, they never promise results. And I told myself, you can't build a fortune on feelings, you build it on discipline. Discipline is doing what needs to be done, whether you feel like it or not. The wealthy don't act because they're inspired, they act because they're committed. When I was broke, I met a man who told me, success isn't about doing extraordinary things once, it's about doing ordinary things consistently. That line stuck with me, because most people wait for inspiration before they take action, but the successful flip the order. They act first and motivation follows. I remember deciding that I'd read something valuable every morning, even if it was just 10 minutes. At first, I didn't see a difference. But months later, I started noticing how my thinking changed, how my conversations deepened, how opportunities seemed to find me. It wasn't luck, it was consistency. Discipline compounds just like money does. The secret is to make discipline automatic. Build routines that carry you even when you're tired. I started using a simple trick, alarms for my priorities. I set one for reading, one for writing, one for reviewing my goals. It wasn't fancy, but it trained my mind to obey the clock, not the mood. Over time, what was once effort became habit, and what was once a struggle became a standard. That's the power of discipline. It transforms difficult into natural. And let me tell you, your plan is worth nothing if it bends every time your feelings change. Every day you're faced with a choice. Will your emotions lead or will your plan? Will you choose what feels good now or what builds good later? Discipline means saying no to the impulse so you can say yes to the vision. It's learning to delay gratification, not to deny pleasure, but to multiply it in the future. So here's the truth. Feelings may get you started, but only discipline will keep you going. Your emotions were designed to make you human, but your discipline was designed to make you wealthy. Follow your plan, not your mood, because discipline, not desire, decides your destiny. Most people don't fail because their dreams are too small. They fail because their plans are too big for their habits. They write goals that look impressive on paper, but when morning comes and life starts pushing back, the plan collapses under its own weight. See, a plan is only as strong as the person willing to obey it. It's not the size of the plan that matters. It's the consistency of the commitment behind it. I remember when I first started setting goals. I wanted to change everything overnight, my finances, my habits, my lifestyle. I wrote long lists, color-coded calendars, even taped quotes on my walls. But within weeks, I was exhausted. The enthusiasm faded, and I found myself back where I started. That's when I realized the purpose of a plan isn't to impress anyone. It's to transform you one small discipline at a time. You don't need a grand design. You need a clear direction. The wealthy understand this. They build plans that fit their current capacity and stretch it gradually. If you can't follow your plan on your worst day, it's too complicated. Simplify until it's executable, even when you're tired, discouraged, or distracted. When I was broke, I didn't start by saving thousands. I started by saving $1, then $2. It wasn't the amount that mattered, it was the act. The daily obedience built the muscle that later carried heavier loads. Most people underestimate the power of doing something small every day. 15 minutes of learning. 15 minutes reviewing your finances. 15 minutes visualizing your goals. That's not overwhelming, but done consistently, it rewires your life. Your plan should be visual, something you can see. I used to keep a big notebook where I tracked my habits and goals. Every check mark was proof that I'd honored my plan for the day. It wasn't about perfection. It was about momentum. You'll be amazed at how quickly progress accelerates when you can see it building. It gives you evidence that your effort is working. And when the emotions start to whisper, it's not working fast enough, or this is too small to matter, you can look back at your record and remind yourself how far you've come. Here's another secret. Don't adjust your plan emotionally. Review it on schedule, monthly, not daily. If you change direction every time your mood shifts, you'll never arrive anywhere. The wealthy don't panic over a bad day or a slow week. They stay steady, letting the plan do the work. That's what separates a system from a scramble. You see, success doesn't demand perfection. It demands obedience. Create a plan simple enough that you can obey it without hesitation. Then follow it with quiet discipline. Because the magic isn't in the plan itself. It's in the person who keeps showing up for it day after day, long after the excitement fades. The plan that changes your life isn't the one that looks grand. It's the one you actually follow. You can tell a person's future by looking at how they spend their money. Not how much they earn, but how they spend. Most people spend emotionally. They let their moods dictate their money. They buy comfort when they're stressed, distraction when they're bored, and image when they're insecure. But let me tell you, money doesn't respond to emotion. It responds to intelligence, structure, and purpose. Every dollar you spend as a soldier in your army, it can either fight for your freedom or die on the battlefield of impulse. The difference between the poor and the wealthy isn't just income, it's intention. When I was younger, I had this bad habit. I spent money as fast as I earned it. If it wasn't bills, it was entertainment, small indulgences, things that felt like rewards for hard work. But one day, I looked around and realized something. I had worked hard, but I had nothing to show for it. My money had come and gone like guests at a party, all fun, no future. Then I learned what wealthy people do differently. They don't spend for relief, they spend for return. Every dollar they release has a purpose: to grow, to serve, or to protect. That shift in thinking changed everything for me. See, you don't need to be a millionaire to think like one. Start by writing a monthly spending mission statement. Ask yourself, what do I want my money to accomplish this month? Is it buying education, reducing debt, building savings, or funding investments? When you assign money to a mission, you remove the emotion from the equation. You stop asking, can I afford it? And start asking, does this serve the plan? Because the goal isn't to afford more things, it's to afford more freedom. Each week, review your spending. Don't judge yourself, just measure. Ask one simple question: did this purchase build my wealth or buy me temporary relief? It's a powerful reflection. You'll start noticing patterns, the small leaks that drain your potential. Maybe it's the subscriptions you don't use or the extra coffee runs that slowly eat away at your investment capital. Awareness turns chaos into control. And here's a simple but powerful discipline: delay every non-essential purchase for 48 hours. Most emotional spending dies with time. Give your future self the chance to approve your present self's decisions. You'll find that most needs were just temporary wants. This one habit alone can save you thousands over time. The wealthy understand that money is a tool, not a toy. Every dollar that enters your hands has a destiny, and it's your responsibility to direct it wisely. Plan your spending like an investor. Let your money serve your vision, not your mood. Because in the end, it's not about how much passes through your hands, it's about how much stays to work for you. And when your spending starts serving your future instead of your feelings, that's when real wealth begins to take shape. The world celebrates bursts of effort, the late nights, the big leaps, the all-in moments. But the truth is, anyone can work hard for a day. The real question is, can you stay steady for a decade? Consistency beats intensity every time. It's not what you do once that builds wealth. It's what you do daily, quietly, and faithfully, even when nobody's watching. You see, discipline is impressive for a day, but consistency is powerful for a lifetime. The secret of the rich isn't that they work harder once, it's that they never stop working smart. I learned this lesson early. When I was young, I used to get excited about big plans. I'd start with passion, energy, and high expectations, and then burn out. I'd go all in for a week and then do nothing for a month, and I wondered why nothing was changing. But one day, a mentor told me, don't confuse motion with progress. The race isn't won by the fastest start, it's won by the one who keeps running. That hit me hard. I realized that wealth, health, relationships, they all follow the same rule. Small efforts done consistently create big results. Think about farming. You can't plant seeds one week, then forget about them for months and expect a harvest. You have to water daily, tend the soil, remove the weeds. It's not glamorous work, but it's steady work, and that's why it yields results. The same is true with your finances. Saving, investing, learning, these aren't one-time events. They're daily disciplines that compound into fortune. The problem with most people is that they live in extremes. They sprint on Monday, collapse on Tuesday, and restart on Friday. But success belongs to the steady, not the sporadic. The wealthy build routines that don't depend on mood or motivation. They don't chase intensity, they master consistency. It's not about how much you do today, it's about how long you can keep doing it. Start small. Pick one habit and commit to it for 90 days. Maybe it's saving a fixed amount, reading 10 pages, or tracking your spending. The goal isn't perfection, it's repetition. Track your streaks not your outcomes. Every day you show up, you're building strength in your discipline muscle. Celebrate that. Because success is not measured by how high you climb in one day, but by how often you refuse to quit. And remember, consistency doesn't mean never resting. It means never stopping for long. It means you keep returning to the work, even after setbacks. So ask yourself daily, did I show up today even when I didn't feel like it? If the answer is yes, you're already ahead of 90% of people. The truth is, intensity excites the crowd, but consistency builds the empire. It's the slow, steady beat of daily discipline that compounds into wealth, character, and freedom. Keep your rhythm steady, and time will multiply your efforts. The real miracle of success isn't in the sprint, it's in the showing up day after day, long after the excitement fades. When you sit down to write a plan, you're not just writing goals, you're signing a contract with your future. Every decision, every habit, every line of commitment is a promise you make to the person you are becoming. And let me tell you, breaking that promise doesn't just delay success, it breaks trust with your own destiny. The moment you treat your plan like an experiment, you've already given yourself permission to fail. But when you treat it as sacred, something that carries the weight of your word, it transforms how you show up. See, a plan is not just paper and ink, it's a declaration. It's a statement that says, I believe my future is worth this effort. The wealthy understand this deeply. They know that every blueprint they write connects directly to a result they will one day live in. When they commit, it's not half-hearted or conditional. It's a covenant. They obey their plan with the same seriousness as a signed agreement, because in a sense it is one. It's a binding agreement between who they are and who they are determined to become. When I was younger, I treated goals casually. I'd write them in January and forget them by March. And then I wondered why nothing changed. One day, I decided to do something different. I wrote down my goals, signed my name at the bottom, and dated it like a contract. I even wrote a line that said, I give my word to pursue these goals regardless of mood, obstacle, or excuse. It might sound simple, but that act changed how I viewed my commitments. It wasn't a wish anymore, it was an agreement with my own future, and I didn't want to break my word. You should post your promises where you can see them, on your desk, your mirror, your phone background, somewhere that reminds you daily who you're working for. Not your boss, not your clients, not your critics, but your future self. Because every day, you're either honoring that future or betraying it. The poor break their promises to themselves easily. The rich guard them like gold. They understand that each time they keep a commitment, they strengthen trust in their own word. Now, there will come moments when the plan feels heavy, when life tests your will, when emotions whisper, take it easy, or you can skip today. That's when you must pause and ask, who am I betraying if I give up now? Picture your future self, stronger, freer, wealthier, waiting on the other side of your consistency. That person is counting on you to keep your word. Every goal you set is a handshake between today and tomorrow. Treat your plan as sacred, and it will reward you with a future worth living. Because the moment you decide that your word means something, the universe starts taking you seriously too. Remember, the plan is your contract with the future. Keep your word, and your destiny will keep its promise to you. Every day we are faced with choices, some small, some large, and most are influenced not by reason but by emotion. You see, moods are fleeting. They come and go like clouds across the sky. One moment you feel motivated, the next discouraged. The poor act on these moods, chasing comfort and avoiding discomfort, and in doing so, they trade long-term success for short-term relief. The wealthy understand that consequences, not feelings, shape their lives. A single impulsive decision can echo for years. A rash purchase, a hasty investment, a moment of anger, while the temporary comfort it brings vanishes almost instantly. Let me give you an example from my own life. Early in my career, I remember feeling frustrated with a business opportunity that seemed slow to develop. I was tempted to quit, to abandon the plan in favor of what felt easier at the moment. But I paused and asked myself, how will this feel in 10 minutes, 10 days, 10 years? That simple reflection changed everything. 10 minutes later, the frustration was gone. 10 years later, the patient action I took transformed into a business foundation that generated significant income. If I had acted on the emotion of impatience, I would have lost far more than I gained. That's why I recommend delaying every impulsive decision for at least 24 hours. Give your mind the chance to separate emotion from reason. Record these decisions in a decision log. Note what you felt, why you acted, and what the outcome was. Over time, patterns will emerge. You'll begin to see which emotions consistently lead you astray and which are signals worth listening to. Emotional discipline is not suppression. It's awareness and choice. It's about understanding that the relief of acting on a feeling is fleeting, but the consequences are long-lasting. A single moment of patience can protect your wealth, your relationships, and your reputation. Each time you honor your plan over your mood, you reinforce the muscle of self-control, the foundation upon which all lasting success is built. Remember, your moods are temporary, but the life you are building is permanent. Let your plan guide your actions, and let your emotions inform, not command, your decisions. The future rewards those who act with reason and consistency, not those who chase fleeting comfort. Confidence is often misunderstood. Many believe it comes from winning, from applause, or from the external validation of others. But real confidence, the kind that doesn't waver in the face of challenges, is built silently in the quiet moments when no one is watching, by keeping promises to yourself. Discipline is the invisible architect of this confidence. Each time you honor a commitment, even a small one, you are reinforcing the unshakable belief that you can rely on yourself. The more you prove to yourself that your word matters, the less external circumstances will shake you. Let me share a lesson from my own life. Early on, I would make ambitious plans, but often I would let small commitments slide when they seemed inconvenient. Over time, I realized that my own inconsistency was eroding my sense of capability far more than any failure from the outside world. I began intentionally keeping one daily promise to myself, no matter how small, a commitment to read for 30 minutes, to save a set amount, or to make one important phone call. Each evening, I reflected, had I honored my word, that reflection became a mirror showing me who I truly was, disciplined or distracted. Slowly, as I accumulated evidence of consistency, my confidence grew. I no longer waited for circumstances to validate me. I had built internal authority over my own life. Discipline creates a cycle. One kept promise leads to another. Each fulfillment proves that you are reliable, that your plan is trustworthy, and that you can endure discomfort to achieve a greater purpose. It transforms self-doubt into tangible evidence of competence. By starting small, with one daily commitment, you build the muscle of self-control. As that muscle strengthens, it extends into larger decisions, your financial plan, your health regimen, your business strategy. The more consistent your discipline, the more natural confidence becomes, and the less dependent you are on fleeting feelings or external approval. Remember, confidence isn't something given, it's earned quietly, moment by moment, by doing what you said you would do, especially when it's hard. Discipline is the proof in your own hands, the steady bridge between uncertainty and belief. Start small, keep your word, reflect nightly, and watch how the evidence of your own consistency transforms you from doubt into unshakable confidence. The most dangerous words in the vocabulary of achievement are maybe and later. Each time you negotiate with your plan, you give your doubts a foothold, and every compromise chips away at your future. The truth is that your plan is more than a list of tasks. It's a blueprint for your life, a contract with your own potential. The moment you start rationalizing, I'll do it tomorrow, or I'll skip this once, you are eroding the structure that will carry you to success. Wealthy individuals understand this intuitively. The plan is sacred, and the momentary discomfort of following it is far less costly than the lifetime expense of inconsistency. When I first began pursuing my own goals, I often found myself negotiating with my plan. A cold morning, a tired mind, a tempting distraction, all of these conspired to create excuses. But I realized something crucial. Each time I bent my plan to my moods, I trained myself to listen to excuses rather than principles. To counter this, I created strict rules for my most important habits. These rules were non-negotiable. Reading daily, saving a fixed percentage, making one meaningful contact every day, no compromise, no exceptions. And slowly, what felt like rigidity became freedom. I no longer felt tossed about by fleeting desires. I was anchored in my plan, and that anchor allowed me to navigate the storms of life without losing direction. The strategy is simple, though not easy. Schedule your hardest tasks when your willpower is strongest. Morning hours, fresh mind, minimal distractions. Track each time you execute your plan despite resistance, and reflect on the growth that comes precisely when following the plan is hardest. That is where real transformation occurs, not when it's convenient, but when it's inconvenient, uncomfortable, or unpopular. Each success in these moments compounds your confidence and discipline. Remember, your plan is your promise to your future self. Don't let fleeting feelings, moods, or excuses dilute it. Decide once, act consistently, and refuse to negotiate. Growth happens when your word to yourself outweighs every temptation to waver. Stick to your plan, especially when it's difficult, because that is the crucible in which wealth, character, and freedom are forged. Discipline is the currency that buys freedom, and every small, consistent act deposits into that account. Too often, people live for today, surrendering to whims, moods, and immediate gratification, thinking wealth is about what they earn in a moment rather than what they build over a lifetime. The truth is that every disciplined decision you make today creates a future where choice replaces obligation, where your time and energy become your own. Wealth is not an event. It is the accumulation of these repeated, principled actions. When I first began my journey, I understood early that every financial or personal gain I wanted was preceded by countless invisible acts of discipline. I remember days when investing, reading, or planning felt tedious, and yet I connected each act to a vision of freedom. The ability to spend time with my family, to pursue opportunities without fear, to contribute meaningfully without being bound by scarcity. That long-term view transformed routine compliance into motivation. Discipline stopped being a burden and became a bridge to the life I desired. The strategy is clear. Live today according to principles that your future self will thank you for. Don't chase moods or convenience. Tie every action to your vision. When you save instead of splurging, when you show up consistently for learning and growth, you are buying hours, choice, and independence for tomorrow. Visualization is a powerful tool here. Picture the freedom your plan will deliver, the time, the security, the opportunities, and let that image guide each decision today. Practically track it at the end of each week. Reflect. What freedom did I earn this week through disciplined action? This simple question builds awareness and reinforces the cause and effect relationship between effort and outcome. Discipline becomes tangible. It becomes a deposit in the bank of your future. And remember, freedom is not immediate. It is the reward for a life consistently lived according to principle. Each disciplined choice compounds, creating a life where you live by design, not by default. Start today, stay consistent, and watch how obedience to your plan transforms into the wealth of freedom you've always desired. If you want to build wealth, you must recognize that consistency beats intensity, and automation is the tool that guarantees it. Most people live financially on impulse, paying bills, spending, or investing only when they remember or feel motivated. The rich, however, understand that the mind is fallible and moods are fleeting. To grow assets steadily, you must design systems that operate independently of emotion. Just as a business automates operations to run efficiently, you can automate your financial life so that savings and investments grow without relying on willpower each month. Early in my own journey, I noticed how much mental energy I wasted deciding when to save, whether to reinvest, or if I should pay down debts first. Decisions piled up, and I often delayed the most important actions. Then I realized that wealth is built by what happens regularly, not by sporadic bursts of enthusiasm. By setting up automatic transfers to savings and investment accounts, I removed the friction between intention and action. Each paycheck became a disciplined act of creation rather than a chance for impulse spending. Dividends and returns were automatically reinvested, and suddenly, my money began to compound without requiring daily effort from me. Automation also protects you from the unpredictable forces of life. When financial habits are systematized, they survive the days you're tired, distracted, or emotionally spent. You no longer need to rely on self-control alone because the system itself enforces consistency. Reviewing automation quarterly ensures alignment with new goals, prevents complacency, and allows refinement as your portfolio and priorities evolve. Think of every automated dollar as a worker you've hired to serve your future. It doesn't sleep, complain, or procrastinate. It simply works relentlessly, building your freedom while you focus on creation, learning, or family. This approach converts discipline from a daily struggle into a guaranteed outcome. True wealth isn't built in moments of inspiration. It's built by systems that operate daily, quietly, and consistently. Start today by automating what matters and watch your money compound while your life expands. When it comes to investing, the single biggest mistake most people make is letting their emotions dictate their decisions. Fear and greed are the two invisible hands that can undo years of careful planning in a single moment. Markets rise and fall, headlines scream, and friends share their hot tips, but none of that should control your choices. Wealth is not built in reaction to the latest news. It is built by a disciplined approach that removes emotion from the equation entirely. I've watched many talented people lose significant sums because they bought in euphoric moments and sold in panic. The lesson is simple. If you can't control your emotions, the market will control you. The first step is to create a written investment policy, a clear plan that dictates what you buy, when you sell, and under what conditions. This plan becomes your compass when markets get turbulent. For example, if you invest in a diversified portfolio of dividend-paying stocks or index funds, set rules for rebalancing or adding to positions. Write them down and commit to following them. These rules are not suggestions. They are the guardrails that prevent impulsive, costly mistakes. Next, review your portfolio only on a set schedule, quarterly, not daily. Checking every day tempts you to react to every market blip. I remember early in my career, I used to obsess over daily movements, constantly worrying if I made the right choice. It was exhausting and counterproductive. When I shifted to a quarterly review, I could evaluate performance rationally, adjust where necessary, and ignore the noise. This consistency reinforced patience and reduced unnecessary stress. Finally, avoid headlines, hype, and speculation. The media thrives on sensationalism because it triggers emotion. But your financial freedom isn't built on short-term excitement, it's built on adherence to principles. When a stock drops 10% and panic sets in, remind yourself of the rules you set. When a sudden surge tempts you to buy at the top, ask, does this align with my plan or with my fear of missing out? The answer will protect your capital and amplify your long-term growth. Long-term wealth is created by following rules, not feelings. Keep emotion out, stay disciplined, and let your plan do the work. Your money will grow quietly and reliably, even while the crowd panics. When it comes to wealth, the natural instinct of many people is to rush toward growth, buying investments, starting businesses, chasing opportunities. But let me tell you something I've learned over decades of observing the wealthy. Prosperity built on unprotected foundations is fragile. You can't grow what you haven't guarded. If you fail to secure what you have, the market, fate, or unforeseen circumstances can take it all away in an instant. Defense builds the fortress, offense fills it. Before you chase the next big return, make sure the ground beneath your feet is solid, stable, and resilient. The first line of defense is an emergency fund. Life is unpredictable, medical expenses, car repairs, economic downturns. Without liquidity, you'll be forced to sell investments at the worst possible time or take on high-interest debt, undoing years of effort. Aim for at least 6 months of living expenses. This isn't indulgence, it's security. It allows you to sleep at night knowing that short-term crises won't derail long-term plans. Next, consider insurance, not just for your health, but for your income-producing assets and your life. A rental property without proper insurance, a business without liability coverage, or an income stream that could vanish unexpectedly is a ticking time bomb. The wealthy treat insurance not as an expense, but as a strategic investment in stability. Protecting what you own is as important as acquiring more. Diversification is another critical layer of defense. Never put all your eggs in one basket, whether that basket is a single stock, a business, or a venture. Spread risk across industries, asset types, and geographies. This doesn't mean diluting returns unnecessarily. It means creating resilience so that one setback doesn't wipe out everything. Finally, never risk the essential for the optional. If you are tempted by a high-reward opportunity, ask yourself, what am I risking? If the loss of this investment endangers my lifestyle, my family, or my existing wealth, it's too risky. The rich invest their optional capital, never the foundation of their security. Prosperity built on protection is unshakable. Guard your capital, safeguard your income, and create a fortress before you chase growth. Only then can offense, investment, innovation, and expansion be pursued without fear knowing that your wealth is shielded and your future is secure. When we think about wealth, too often the focus is on income, the paycheck, the commission, the fee we earn. But let me remind you, wages make you a living, equity makes you wealthy. True financial freedom comes not from trading hours for dollars, but from owning pieces of value that work for you while you sleep. Ownership, not employment, is the path to lasting prosperity. The first step is understanding the difference between income and equity. Income is temporary. It stops when you stop working. Equity, however, grows over time, appreciates, and multiplies. Whether it's a share of a business, a rental property, or intellectual property, owning a stake means that you're capturing a portion of something bigger than your daily effort. Equity compounds. Income only compensates. I've seen countless people chase higher paychecks their whole lives, only to find that when work slows or ends, so does their security. But those who prioritized ownership built wealth that endures beyond their active labor. The strategy is simple in concept, but disciplined in execution. Invest in assets that appreciate over time. Real estate can generate both cash flow and value growth. Business shares allow you to benefit from someone else's operational success while keeping your capital productive. Intellectual property, books, courses, patents, continues to create value long after the initial effort. The key is to make ownership a conscious, prioritized goal rather than an afterthought. Practical steps matter. Start by setting an annual equity goal. This could be buying a piece of property, acquiring shares in a promising business, or investing in a project that earns royalties. Before diving in, invest time in learning how ownership works. Understand valuation, rights, and responsibilities. This preparation ensures that your equity is strategic, not speculative. Finally, track your ownership ratio, the comparison between assets you own versus income you earn from your time. The higher the ratio, the closer you are to financial independence. Equity is the multiplier of effort. It transforms your hours into lasting wealth and turns your labor into leverage. Focus on building stakes, not just collecting paychecks. Let ownership, not activity, define your prosperity. When people talk about building wealth, they often focus only on money. But wealth is not just financial, it's the product of leverage, the ability to make your effort work harder, smarter, and longer than you could alone. Diversification is not just for your portfolio, it's for your life, your skills, and your energy. Relying on a single source of income or a single skill is like putting all your seeds in one basket. One storm, one shift in the market, one unexpected event, and everything can be lost. True prosperity comes when you spread your effort across creation, learning, and collaboration. The philosophy is simple. The rich don't gamble everything on a single talent or opportunity. They leverage multiple avenues of growth. They know that money comes and goes, but knowledge, skills, and strategic partnerships compound over time. When you diversify your efforts, you create resilience and increase the odds that something you do today will bear fruit tomorrow. It's not just about having multiple streams of income, it's about being multidimensional, developing yourself, your projects, and your network so that each feeds the other. The strategy, therefore, is twofold. Broaden your base and deepen your expertise. You want to be good at a core skill, but also expand into complementary areas. This increases your leverage. Your existing abilities can be applied in new contexts, multiplying the value you create. Similarly, collaborating with others who bring different strengths accelerates results. Alone, progress is linear. Together, it becomes exponential. The wealthy understand that relationships, not just dollars, are a form of capital. Practical steps make this actionable. Begin by learning one new monetizable skill every quarter, something that aligns with your strengths but opens new doors. Each year, launch at least one side income project, no matter how small, so that you are putting your knowledge into practice and building a new revenue stream. Finally, intentionally partner with others whose strengths complement yours. Look for collaborators who balance your weaknesses, enhance your ideas, and can share the load while expanding reach. Track the results and adjust over time. These diversified efforts will compound, creating wealth, resilience, and freedom that a single source of income could never provide. Leverage yourself wisely, diversify your effort as you diversify your income, and you'll find that opportunities grow faster than you could ever imagine. As we draw this journey to a close, I want you to take a moment and reflect on what we've covered. Wealth is not an accident. It's a result of choices, habits, and discipline. It's not about luck, talent, or timing. It's about how you structure your life, manage your time, and act consistently, even when motivation fades. The difference between those who merely get by and those who thrive lies not in circumstance, but in their approach. They follow a plan, invest in themselves, protect what they earn, and let their efforts compound. I've shared principles that the wealthy live by: discipline over emotion, consistency over bursts of intensity, planning over whim. But knowledge alone will not change your life. Action is required. What you do today, no matter how small, is a vote for the person you want to become tomorrow. The small, intentional choices, the daily savings, the minutes spent learning, the connections nurtured, the time invested in high-value activities, these are the bricks that build your fortress of wealth. Your call to action is simple, but not easy. Start by committing to one principle and executing it without compromise. Track it, reflect on it, and let it grow into habit. Automate your savings, invest in your education, and guard your time like it's the most valuable asset you own, because it is. Protect your energy, delegate low-value tasks, and surround yourself with those who elevate you. Treat every dollar and every hour as a worker, not a resource to be squandered. Remember, the richest lives are not those that spend wildly. They are those that grow steadily, wisely, and patiently. Wealth is not a flash of light. It's a long, quiet accumulation. Every disciplined act is a deposit into your future. Every wise decision a seed that compounds. Your life is your portfolio, and every choice you make today either builds or erodes it. So, start now. Follow your plan, not your mood. Build assets, protect your capital, and diversify your effort. Commit to consistent action, however small, and let it compound. Your future self will thank you. The journey is long, but the rewards are lasting. Take responsibility, act with intention, and step forward with courage. Your wealth, freedom, and legacy begin with the decisions you make today.